million years ago, a massive volcano violently erupted in the Lesotho Mountains, bringing to the surface a rare type of magma, rich in gemstones. Over the course of time, diamonds were scattered into the river valley below. This river has never been prospected, until now. A group of top international businessmen, led by entrepreneur and adventurer Peter Jago, have secured this sought-after concession. They must journey to the roof of Africa and set up the world's highest alluvial diamond mining operation, with the hope of unearthing the biggest diamonds ever found. Will they succeed in this ultimate high-risk, high-reward adventure? Or will they be defeated by the harsh terrain and near impossible challenges of mining in the mountains?
I do believe one thing very, very strongly. If you dream it, do it. I am a risk taker. There's certain traits I fail in. That's why we're partners.
Once the lure of the diamond is in your blood, it's always there.
None of us has ever done any mining whatsoever.
Not the little angel here. I am a little hard-ass.
My aim is to find diamonds and retire.
If you can feel pain, you're still human, still alive.
I think it's going to be insane, literally, to dig for diamonds.
The dream probably started about 36 years ago. I was a kid, joined a diamond cutting factory, and I learned to cut diamonds. And we weren't really making much money, so we decided we'd go and open a diamond cutting factory in Lesotho. And we ended up buying diamonds in the mountains. And that was always my dream. I always thought, you know what? One day, when I got the time, the inclination, and the ability to get a license, which is a huge issue, I'll come back.
A decade after first applying for a mining license, Peter has gathered investors in Durban, South Africa.
Eventually, license came. There's the claim lines. The claim area is directly adjacent to Letseng mine. This is very expensive. It's dynamite, huge trucks, crushing plants. They're taking out 6.5 million tons a year. We don't have to do any of that. The elements have done it for us. We're going to go look for holes. We're going to look for rapids. We're going to look for anything that might have trapped stuff. Everything logical says it's there. It doesn't mean it's there. With diamonds, it's just sheer risk. It's like looking for a bloody needle in a haystack. My partners were very skeptical, didn't want to spend a penny, and that was a big issue.
It's not an investment. That it's a pure gamble.
The road that goes down there was only cut about 5-6 years ago. Before that, you went down on horseback. Nobody's physically done it. Just nobody's done it.
How do we know that?
We know. We do know. The government have never licensed anybody. And of course they scoffed and said, are you out of your mind? Anyway, I persisted. Letseng is unique. They've taken 5 of the world's 20 biggest diamonds out of it. In history. Star of the Lesotho, a spectacular white diamond of 122 carats, was recovered in October 2004. We might discover the little honeypots. There it all is. And there's 50 diamonds in there, we get them all.
I just know that I was ambushed, swept up with a hunt.
I'd go to my grave in tears if we hadn't tried this. I would. So I think we got to take the risk. We got to go see what's there. Well, it's done. I've spent all your money, including my own. So at least that way we all know what we've thrown our money away for. An adventure. Not a simple process of saying, we got a license in April, let's go mining in May. There's an enormous amount of logistical work, planning, thought that has to go into a project like this. If we take this trailer, we flip it over and we put it on top there. It was a nightmare of logistics. I had to think of everything. 7 vehicles, 7 trailers, plus a huge truck. It's going to join us tomorrow. We're going to pick up big diamonds. So we need a big lift for the big diamonds. Everything from a trailer to bring your diesel and your water here. If you fill them, they weigh nearly 2 tons. And these vehicles are only like 1.5 tons. If you half full them, it's even worse. Because when you go around a corner, it sloshes and the whole trailer will flip over.
No one wants to go to Lesotho at 80 k's now. Not me. I only do 80 on my way to 150.
Conrad's a very wealthy man. Conrad made a lot of money. He's a very good logistics guy. And you know what? He'll roll up his sleeves and do anything. I've known Tim all my life. He's one of those solid guys. You can just say to him, do something, and he will get on with it.
I was surprised when Peter said the license has come through. You don't want to get here and get locked up.
Rob Thunder, the investor with the most to lose, can only join them a month into the expedition.
The poorest investor in the mine, so it's very important for the mine to be successful. We had to find divers. Divers can be different people.
I have a bad past, but this is my opportunity to shine and start living a normal life again.
I'm an adrenaline junkie and I'm just me.
Most people will dream but never do it. They'll sit and dream it and sit at their desk and slowly their lives disappear. I do not do that.
With all the equipment and gear the team have to transport, it'll take 2 days to get to Lesotho.
Don, my partner, he's your old school gentleman. He said, geez, no, he wants to come. You know, he's been through a very hard patch.
I lost my wife to cancer last year, so all the other things I'd planned don't really mean much anymore. So this, in a sense, is a way to maybe get a bit of spark back in my life. Bunch of guys together, no electricity, no telephones. We still don't know how we're going to feed everybody.
We're coming up here into an area with absolutely nothing. You have to think of everything. 17,300 rands worth of fuel. We just keep going till it's full.
We're feeding 10 to 15 people 3 times a day, so that's 45 meals a day. So it's quite a big ask in an area like this. There's no meat. Is it possible to buy goat somewhere up in the mountains and slaughter them? Yeah. I can just...
Get a bit bored. Something like this where it's something different all the time. It's much better. That's why I've left my business to come into this. A lot of dust, but I think that's better than having it wet. The gravel smooths out the corrugations here, but it does tend to be very slippery. This is like ball bearings.
Kim, Peter's cousin, is in remission from cancer, and he seizes the opportunity to go on this extreme adventure.
Over that next ridge is the Letseng mine, and then we're about 12 k's further on.
In the mid-2000s, gem mines opened up Letseng, and what I always knew was there came to light, the huge diamonds. And they continue to find huge diamonds and very special diamonds. A couple of months ago, found a little 12-carat blue diamond. They got $7.5 million for that one stone. We just got to find one of those. The problem with Letseng is they have to move an enormous amount of ground. Those are 50-ton trucks you see there.
I would say those rocks about the size of this bloody bucky.
See the sheer walls?
Okay.
That's volcano. Diamonds are formed in a volcano. Pressure and heat causes pure carbon, which is cold, to turn into a diamond.
Kimberlite, also called blue ground, is the diamond-bearing rock that is brought to the surface by eruptions. Over millions of years, this has eroded and has been washed into the valleys below.
And this is probably the best tributary off of Letseng, this one here. And it's vertical all the way, which means everything that goes down there goes to the bottom. It's not going to stay halfway. When that snow melts and it rains hard, that water is just going to go down there like a bullet. And you can see how sharply it's cut over the years. That bottom where that little village is, that's the right spot to be pumping. That's where the old lady dug holes and got diamonds in the hole.
Peter hopes to set up here soon, but the village is remote.
We're in the valley over the top of that hill.
They will begin operations in the adjacent valley, which has a road in and accommodations for the team.
I think if this was easy to get to, you'd have had 1,000 guys here 100 years ago.
It's the weirdest feeling to think that you're parking right on top of diamonds. Now you start looking, picking, thinking you're going to walk past the diamond and become the most famous guy in the world. That's the objective. That's mine, of course. Circling a bit with the clutch, eh?
Slowly, probably first gear, because you've got to see this is a bit more heavy than we've been on.
Keep it in second.
It's bulldoze that you can see, so thank God. I would think first even.
A big risk is getting in and out of the valley. Really, really is.
The road into the valley drops over 1,000 feet in just 9 kilometers.
What I knew from the very beginning is that coming into Lesotho here, we are coming into hostile terrain. The roads are treacherous.
The risks on the journey are real. I mean, these drop-offs here are pretty horrific.
Sheer. And there are no barriers on the sides.
Just concerned about one of the vehicles maybe getting pushed over by the heavy trailer. Once you start there, there's no stopping. Once you're over, you're over.
I've got the heaviest load, which everyone was too worried about towing. It's like 2 tons of fuel. I mean, if we had to actually jam on the anchors now, to slide out of all, but just give Peter a bit of a space so he can go a bit. Off he goes, he like pretty much disappears.
It's terrifying. It's actually terrifying.
Bumpy patches. 200-300 foot drops off on one side, and once you lose control, you just better remember your prayers. Probably the scariest thing I've done for a long time.
I was scared. I said to myself, that's the wrong time to be afraid of heights.
Come on, don't stop, man, go!
The little stones are like a ball bearing. And every now and again, you can just feel the back of your car wanting to pass you. If you come down there, you will die. The car will go off the edge of the cliff. And you will die.
Promise you, barely within 3 times. I started sliding. I jumped out, handbrake on. I had to jump to grab rocks and put it behind the wheels. Big black scorpion this size under that rock. I got such a fright. I was more worried about my bucky sliding off the cliff.
I think there were times there where I was pretty damn worried. And we were at high risk a lot of times there.
The lodge where they will be staying has no electricity or running water, and the nearest hospital is a half a day's drive away.
Well, everybody, we're here. This is the place we're going to base ourselves for the next 9 weeks.
This is stunning country. It's medieval.
These people are subsistence farmers. They farm sheep. They use the cattle to plow. And they plant. They don't sell it out of this area. It's all for the area.
Thabo, a Lesotho advocate, arranged their stay in this remote community.
You don't come to a place like this without talking first to the chief. You should always have a diplomatic approach.
Thabo has employed local graduate John to help with daily operations.
We had to use locals. All countries don't want foreigners coming in and bringing their own staff.
What did you graduate in? Okay.
Yes.
So you got the guy who's going to count the diamonds in case we steal them. Is that it?
No. We've got all the machines. The river's got water in, which is a great thing, thank God. This afternoon, we'll take down the jig. We'll take down one of the classifiers, stick it on the river, and start pumping.
I believe that Peter is going to be able to get good diamonds around this area. If he doesn't, I can place my head on the block.
These guys want to go down to the river and just do a recce. Plan was to look to see where diamonds may have fallen into pools and pockets deep enough so that once they've settled, they won't be shifted. Find 3 or 4 spots and mine them intensively.
Bit of a mission getting the machines down to the river.
This is very, 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 very rocky terrain.
Everything is very steep, very rocky, quite dangerous.
Starting that side, my concern is the slope.
So there's the other twist done up there.
But every easy route they find is through a farmer's field.
Yeah, this is a fabulous spot. I mean, look at the salt. But we need to set up on that bank, which means coming from down those plowed lands. That's a bit of a bugger, eh? Okay, we found a spot. There's a soccer field. You go straight out, right up to the water.
The headman doesn't want us to go through his field.
Yeah, then so there's another way. There's another way. We'll show you. I think these people, when we first came in, were dreading us coming in here. Here comes another bunch of mining people who are going to bugger up our valley and ruin our lifestyle, especially the older folk. They look at you with disdain and think, oh, geez, yeah, these idiots are going to come mess our river up.
So the machines will have to wait. Right now, the miners need to focus on public relations.
Head of the village next door to us told us we can come and get a goat and a sheep. He said it was 5 minutes away, but that was half an hour ago.
About you come here, the mixed emotions.
We need to understand what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do.
Some of them are still worried.
I'd already told the environmental guys in Lesotho that I wouldn't mess up their river.
But Peter still has to convince the workforce.
Okay. We suck the sand from the river, and and we take it out onto the bank, and then we put it down and it runs back. It doesn't mess up the water. It doesn't mess up anything. No chemicals, no crushing, no breaking, nothing. Just vacuum. All right, so tomorrow morning what we're going to do is we're going to get all together with one machine. He's going to set up one machine on the river so we know how to work it. And as soon as everybody can see how it works and everybody's used to it, then we're going to split into two groups. It's not hard work, but it's long.
I wonder if these are them. Yeah, they are, John. Thank you very much. Who's going to slaughter them?
No, we will do it.
I think I should renegotiate it. I think it's a pygmy goat.
Won't feed anybody.
Maybe 350. 350.
Is that good?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Some of the people who live here, they live in poverty. So I think that's a very big opportunity. By buying the sheep from them, it shows them that we are here for no harm.
Very happy, we're happy. Remember, we got no food. They got no money. Great partnership.
They have so little. When you get out here amongst the local community, it makes you aware that we're all totally spoiled. It doesn't matter who we are in our modern society. We're a throwaway society. Here people have time. You get to know them. They greet you, they stop, they want to know who you are, where you come from. They're genuinely decent people. This has been an incredible experience.
Peter's talk has satisfied the locals, and he's found a route down to the water.
You come around where the field is plowed, go through that silt, across onto that bank.
They would prefer to be in the adjacent valley, where an elderly woman is believed to have found a large diamond. But right now, it's all they can reach. It's also a chance to test the machines.
I think the first machine should set up right here. Let's go. Yeah.
It's too late for the machines today, but at least everyone is happy, except for the sheep.
I know my Irish partner thinks it's easier to find a four-leaf clover. This river's run through here for 1 billion years. It's got to be down there. And I think we're going to fly. I think we're going to pump diamonds out there like all hell. Today, breakfast for everybody. And what we're going to do, get the machines, get them down to the water as soon as possible, start pumping sand. Jan, the manufacturer of the machines, is the only guy who knows how these machines work.
We manufacture alluvial diamond mining equipment.
I'm not sure that the equipment is the right equipment. Our equipment comes from a supplier who supplies into the DRC. The type of alluvial diamond mining there is completely different. We're going to have to use the JCB to probably pull roads through, but we're going to get it in this morning. We can't wait. When we're pumping sand, chances are high of finding something, so we have to get down there this morning.
So we've found 3 spots. We're off for the easiest to access. A bit of road work to the other 2 spots.
I would have actually liked to have tested these machines before we even brought them up here. You didn't want to fiddle with anything until the manufacturer handed them over to us and said, right, they're working.
Even the easy site is proving hard to access.
So close to pumping, I don't want to break anything now.
It's a mission. I never anticipated it to be easy. It's a big, huge mission. We can start pumping over there by the rocks.
Manhandle it down there.
You're going to manhandle this thing. You can't pick this up.
We'll have to manhandle it by hand.
The river itself comes down in flood regularly after the snow and after big rain. And when a river moves quickly, it has a vibrating effect. The analogy of the popcorn, if you take a bag of popcorn and you put the marble on top and you hold it dead still, nothing will happen. But the minute you do this, that marble will go straight down to the bottom. The same with the diamond in the river. You can't pan this, you'll never find anything. The diamonds are at the bottom. So it's a matter of sucking down to bedrock, getting into the cracks, and then you're going to find something.
The water temperature is just above freezing, which doesn't seem to deter the divers.
I think it's all about the adventure right now. Conditions, well, it's not ideal. Water's not very high, but typical diamond-bearing gravel. Let's hope they get some diamonds here.
But these machines have yet to be tested.
My plan is basically to explain how the system works. That's it. After that, I'm back to Cape Town and on to the next project. I had customers in Angola that found one spot. They put 20 different pumps into one hole and they were all taking a diamond.
There's no suction from the pump. After transporting the equipment for 2 days and setting it up in the remote valley, Jan's mining equipment doesn't work.
We paid millions for that equipment.
We've got loads at stake.
I've basically put all my eggs in one basket. I've resigned, and for me it's make or break.
By now, I had full visions of having some sort of stone in my hand.
It's day 3 in the remote Lesotho mountains, and the equipment hasn't processed a single stone. Kim is towing the second classifier from the lodge to see if the problem is just a faulty pump.
The next station we're going to is going to need a bit of road work. So hopefully while we're doing that, Jan can strip this other pump down and have a look and see if it's repairable. I think my optimism is slightly dented.
We've 3.5 million.
Score.
That's our risk. You have to come up here and find out that a pump doesn't work 10,000 feet like it does at the ocean.
I suppose any startup is difficult, especially as not one single one of us had any idea what we were doing. It's just no driving the pumps because of the altitude. We brought the manufacturer along with us. He found out that the mistakes were his.
Pumped a bit of water, still not pumping the way it should. We need more force in the pump, and we need more force on the suction to be able to suck the gravel up. At the moment, it doesn't hardly want to suck the water.
The locals are fascinated.
Rich playboys coming around here, scratching around in the waters and the sand.
They're keeping a close watch on us.
And they're not the only ones. Kim has had a run-in with a spy.
On my way back here, let's say mine vehicle stopped right in the middle of the road, and then he realized that it was too late. He'd been seen, so he kept coming. He wants to know what's the lodge like. More than likely stayed there more times than we have. All the machinery's in one place that the security can look after.
We have heard that it is quite dangerous down here. He's sitting ducks out here.
People know we're here, and they know what we're doing here. And all of that adds risk. The local people, I don't believe, are a security risk to us. These are passive, very nice people.
Where can we organise somebody to stay overnight security?
Where we have a major risk is outside of these areas, more in the smaller towns. You do get the totties, the criminal. They're on the constant lookout for anything like this. Up here, there's no such fantasy as a credit card machine or an ATM. You've got to carry cash. And if a truckload of these guys come in, 4 or 5 of them with AK-47s, there's no way in this world you're going to defend yourself against that. That's why he has a guard on the gate with a shotgun who will use it.
While the machines are inactive, roads need to be built to access sites in the next valley. The divers are frustrated.
We're meant to get the guys going with some spades and buckets at least, start working this bank down a bit.
2 guys with bloody buckets scooping could have found a biggie, and we could have all been going home.
Everyone agreed with it last night. It was a good idea. Even the guy who made the machine said it's a brilliant idea. And then today, all the sardine, they seem to think that no, it's not a good idea anymore. So now we're going to fuck up the whole day by building roads.
The divers, being typical macho young men, everything is possible.
Just got to get the hang of this thing. I'm not a TLB driver. It's just finding out exactly where things are, that's all. I'm that kind of guy. I mean, I've jumped around the world, and this is the kind of stuff I need. I just have to be totally stimulated all the time.